Is honesty, respect, faithfulness, and money mutually exclusive? So, hey guys, welcome back to This Perfect Mess. My name is Shiro Jugona.
And I'm Dennis.
And we're back with another video. It's a new week, so as usual, we're back with a new video. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this channel as a way of supporting us, and also make sure you like this video and comment all the nice things. What do you have to tell us? Also check me out on Insta.
Yeah, please check her on Insta.
At
I don't have any
Shirin
Insta, so no need to check that.
At Shirin Juguna. Anyway, so today we are back with another topic. I know it's going to be intense. This one is, guys,
Yeah, we'll try to do our best.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of like winging it, you know, so
Yeah.
we kind of know the questions, and we'll try a new format. It will be like question, you know, she'll be asking me a question, and
Yeah.
you know, kind of like question for me and question for her. So why don't we start from you?
Yeah, if we could title this video, we could say it's money and relationships, but we don't want to just say it's just in that context. It's just some of those controversial issues.
Well, sure, yeah.
So
And obviously there is no one solution that fits everything. It's just kind of like our take on, you know, what we've been through and kind of like our experience and stuff.
yeah, I'm going to go right into it and ask you.
So I'm the first one going.
Or you're asking me first?
Yeah. Well, how about you ask yourself? So, well, it's our questions. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, can you start
By asking you.
by asking yourself? Well, it's our questions. So, yeah, you'll be the one reading it. Since
Okay.
You have a phone.
The first question is: would you date a broke guy?
Yeah, it's an important question, I guess. You know, for women, obviously, not for a gay dude, but you know.
Yeah.
So, how would you? What would you say?
I would say yes, and I would say no.
Oh, so yeah, obviously, it's not a black and white world.
Yeah,
You know, like some people.
Yeah,
make it
I would
believe.
say yes, and I would say no. I would say yes. Let me just say it depends on the guy. For example, if I'm dating a 25-year-old that just graduated uni or college and he's trying to figure out things and trying to figure out career, he probably doesn't have a steady flow of income and he's trying to figure out things. Then at that point, it's a yes.
Oh yeah, so it's an age kind of like depends on the age
Yeah,
of the guy.
I have
Okay.
previously dated my fellow students, and I know how that goes. But if someone, I know people have this back and forth conversation of, you know, sometimes breakthroughs come when you're old. My limit is 30. If someone is 30 and above,
If the dude is 30 and hasn't decided what he wants to do with
To-
his life,
yeah.
that's a big red flag.
yeah, he doesn't have to have like millions, but at least be settled on what you want to do, or be changing. You have like some years of experience, or you're trying to transition. But then if you're 30 and you're still trying to weigh between whether you want to become a graphic designer or whether
an
you
astronaut, yes.
yeah,
So,
I honestly can't take it.
No, I hear you obviously, and I would assume you don't mean the guy has to be like a millionaire.
Yeah,
You know? Just
yeah.
kind of like at least show for that you know his aspirations in life, right?
Yeah, I don't want a guy that's living in
the
his mom's
basement with
basement
cats and his
yeah,
mom.
at 35. So
Yeah, so, well, obviously, there are some exceptions, right? The
Yeah.
guy might be between jobs, you
Yeah.
know, and that doesn't mean he has to spend a year or a couple years, you know, looking for that job. But, you know, like, he lost it and, you know, just happened to go back to his mom's because, you know,
yeah.
it's just he's in a transition right
So
now.
in summary, I would say at 30, if you haven't figured out your career, you can't figure me out. You can figure out a relationship as well. So I wouldn't try to
Well,
date
sure,
with that.
it's
So
a fair choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you would say, okay, you have to have like a lot of money to date me. It's just, you know, the guy has to understand what he wants in life,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Even though he might still be working on it. Obviously, 30, it's not the end of someone's career. It
Yeah.
might be just the beginning, but at least he has to have some
Something
goal.
to show.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So yeah, you want to go with your okay?
Do you want to read it
yeah.
since you know how to read?
His first question would be, would you date a woman that's in it for money? For example, an escort.
Yeah, or a slay queen, I guess. We,
Yeah.
we come up with all kinds of words that we use between each other. So slay is the slay queen. Well, obviously, it's a no for guys because, you know, Kind of like, you know, if you're a guy,
Mm-hmm.
the huge red flag if the woman is in for it for a money,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you can't really tell right away. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a black and white question. You know, obviously the guy
Mm-hmm.
in many situations would be the one that's kind of like earning more money. It's
Mm-hmm.
just because our society is structured like this.
Mm-hmm.
For me, by the way, it definitely wouldn't be a problem if the woman earns more money than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just happens to be that guys, I guess, get paid more.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, obviously, if someone is clearly after my money, that
Mm-hmm.
would be a red flag, and I would obviously stay away from them.
Yeah.
But I understand that the guy, you can't say that the woman is not in for it, you know, it's not for the money, because
Mhm.
we all are for the money. You know,
Yeah.
you can't live without money. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, ridiculous, you know,
Mhm.
to say no, it's
Yeah.
not about money.
Yeah.
Obviously it is, but it has to be, again, a fine line.
Yeah.
You know, the relationship has to be based around something else besides just
Besides
money.
the
you know.
money, yeah.
It can be anything, your common interests, books, movies, you know, church that you go to, anything, you know. It
Yeah.
depends on what you connect with.
Yeah.
And if that only connection is money,
Mhm.
you know, let's say, yeah, you the guy brings in money, then you go out, then
Mhm.
you have sex, and that's pretty much it,
Yeah.
then it's a problem, yes.
Yeah, and that brings me to some confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a very touchy subject, but when, for example, a married man
Mhm.
dates a young lady,
Mm-hmm.
and you know you have a wife at home,
Well, yeah, that's that's a bad situation.
yeah, don't you think it's more of a transaction? Because you know at the end
Well,
of
of
the
course.
day, you won't divorce
Well,
your wife to be with this person.
Yeah,
It's
it can be both transactional nature. You know, the
Yeah.
girl might be just in it for money,
Mhm.
obviously. You know,
Mhm.
or she
Mhm.
might want the guy. You know,
Mhm.
you know, maybe she just wants to steal the guy. You know, it's also possible.
Okay.
There's no black and white in my view. You know,
Mhm.
it's difficult, and sometimes, you know, you can't. Obviously, yeah, if you have an escort or a slay queen that's
Mhm.
clearly going for your money,
Mhm.
yeah, you can see it. Unfortunately, in real life, this doesn't happen like this, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And you just have to be on the lookout, you know.
Or sometimes it's disguised as a life partner, but it
well,
turns out
sure.
it's nothing
Many
else.
people make mistake and they
Mhm.
marry such person,
Mhm.
and that becomes a big problem, you know, down the road, especially if kids are involved,
Mhm.
or if the person is also a narcissist.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's a difficult situation in either way, and there's no black and white answer. You know, sure, you
Mhm.
can say like, yeah, if the girl definitely goes for your money, it's bad, but
Mhm.
it never happens like this, you know, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So, yeah, be careful, people. So, yeah, obviously, if you're a guy, kind of like date the girl for a little bit before you jump in, and
Yeah.
if you're a woman, you know, just don't do this to men, because it's kind of like, you know, it's a human being, even
Yeah.
though some men can be pretty nasty to women, but still, you know, just kind of be human about it. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So, what's the question for you?
The next question would be now for you
Mhm.
also.
Oh, okay.
Now, assuming you don't want, because
Hmm.
from what I understand, I think there are men who don't mind that the lady is just here to be pampered, right?
Mhm.
So for you, or for
Sure.
someone that would want to know apart, like from someone that is in need for money and someone that cares about you,
Mhm.
how the question was, how do you tell apart
Oh.
from one, someone being a gold digger,
Mhm.
and two, because I think there is a very fine line, and two, a woman wanting a financially independent man.
Yeah, well, kind of like the easy situation would be if you know right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like long time ago, I went on a date with the girl I met online,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell right away that she is in for money. You know,
Mhm.
the way she acts and the way she just, you can kind of quickly tell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like an easy way out.
Yeah.
That was the one and only date for me, so I clearly didn't care about her.
Mm-hmm.
A more difficult situation would be when the relationship, when one person tries to play
Yeah.
another person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard, and it might take time for you
Mhm.
to actually learn.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a fine line. Again, there's no like black and white. That the world is not binary in my view. You know,
Mm-hmm.
obviously everyone. I mean, you need money to live.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Let's not lie. You
Mhm.
know, we
Yeah.
need money to live. If you don't have money, you'll be in bad shape.
Yeah.
There's also kind of like a limit of how much money you need. You know,
Mhm.
you like reach certain point when you get like another, like, I don't know, n amount of money, it won't make any difference. But once you're in that comfort zone, we all need money. You know, you want to buy stuff. I mean, the world is transactional in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you can't really tell that, okay, she's in it for money, because we all are. You know, I would say, like my previous point, you have to have common goals, common things. You know, like if all you have is just like sex and then you don't do anything else, you know, and then it's boring, then that's probably a problem, and that you got an escort. So
and also, do you also think like having someone that genuinely cares about like other things in your life?
Sure, well, obviously, if she doesn't care, you know, as long as you pay the bill, and then let's say, I don't know, you lost your job or something came up and you didn't pay the bill, and now she blew up and left. Well, that's a red flag, obviously. You got yourself a slay queen or an escort or whatever you call them, you know, gold diggers. So
sounds good. Okay.
I already answered two. So
yeah.
Now it's you have to do two.
Okay. The other question was, would you date a cheapskate?
Oh, that's for a woman, right?
Yeah, for a woman. Also, guys, tell us in the comment section, and you should, if you're a guy, answer the questions that he's answering. And
let's have a discussion. So
yeah, in the comment section.
Because we're not like psychiatrists here. We're just sharing our opinions.
Yeah, if you guys ask something or mention something, we'll be sure to review the comments and probably make another video from it.
Sure.
So
what do you think about cheapskates? Yeah.
I am not doing that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Poor
cheapskates, they probably have such a hard time finding a date.
To be honest, I am not doing that. I did that once.
Oh, you dated one, huh?
I did, yeah. First of all, I have dated students, and let me explain what cheapskate is.
Student probably wouldn't be a cheapskate.
Yeah,
right?
they just don't have it.
Yeah.
Let me explain. So I dated a student. Obviously, we were both students. We didn't have a lot of money, but every time I would have, because you obviously know, like for me, it's either I'm in or I'm out. So if I get something, I want to buy a gift for someone. I want to buy, mostly for me it's clothes. So I want to buy clothes for someone.
Well, it's still a gift.
Yeah, you know. So I still used to do that with my student boyfriend, and him also. He used to do the same. That one I give it to him. Like, he didn't have a lot of money, but he would treat me, he would buy me, and I would understand, because that's where
it would be proportional to his income.
That's where he's, because you know, if someone can't do the little when they have little, even when they have much, they won't do it. So that was my student escapade. I dated a guy that was working, and dude, he couldn't even like, I'm just trying. For me, to be honest, I just have this. I can't date a cheapskate. I don't want you to cheap out.
Really, like, he would take you out and he would buy you like what?
Tea. I can't even take tea right now because I have a lot of trauma.
Yeah, for people.
You buy me tea, and then also like, you see, because for me, I had a lot of baggage, emotional baggage, that I had to go to therapy and tell the therapist that I have a problem accepting help. You remember even like when we started dating and you were trying to buy me a heater, and I was like, no, I'm fine without it, I'll use trench coats. I had a problem accepting help, and it's a thing that has been taught to women. When you go to school, your parents emphasize on the need of like, you will have your own money, you will be independent. I am all for independent women, but women, there is a very fine thin line of you being independent and someone taking advantage of you.
Oh, sure.
Because I remember I would go on dates, and you guys, if you know the distance between Lavington and Westlands, it's less than 5 minutes drive, and he would leave me in Westlands, and I would go, and I have darkness phobia, obviously, and he would leave me. He couldn't even drop me at night. And now I think of all the things that I had to take, like the things that are substandard. Even my landlady, she used to ask, isn't her boyfriend driving? And he would send her keys to come pick me up. And
yeah, that's pretty bad.
Obviously, from such an experience.
Do you think, I have a question, do you think he did this because he was just saving on gas, or because he just didn't care about you at the time?
He probably didn't care, but also I probably showed him that I can take less than all the time.
Oh, so
I was okay with his okay.
Oh, so sure, yeah, when he took you out and bought you tea.
Yeah, I am okay with that.
Yeah.
And also I was in a very I'd say I was in a very weird situation because I didn't have a job then. Okay, I had just gotten my job, my first job, and it was not paying as much.
Yeah.
So
But
you feel like
see
you
it,
don't
yeah.
have anything that you're bringing to the table, and so you feel like you shouldn't negotiate for better treatment.
Yeah,
So,
well, definitely a cheapskate, and also, you know, your ex, and plus, obviously, kind of cold-hearted, you know, guy that was playing you, exploiting
yeah.
you, probably.
And for me, I think right now it's, girl, if he's not willing to spend on you, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to spend millions on me, but do something.
You know, I want to add that there's also, again, a fine line, like what you gave an example when the guy doesn't spend a lot, kind of just like totally the bottom of the barrel, pretty much. But also, don't expect the guy to spend like millions. You know, you don't expect. I mean, don't expect like a new iPhone every year.
Yeah.
Or, you know, don't expect like every like like designer clothes. You know,
Yeah.
which is kind of like opposite for a guy too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, like a gold digger situation. And so just kind of like, guys, be in the middle.
Something
you know?
reasonable.
Yeah,
I'd
reasonable.
say,
Don't
yeah.
expect like a new car every 2
Yeah.
years. And
Yeah, it has to be reasonable. If you can only afford to go to KFC, fine.
yeah, I mean, if you're a student, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
if you're a student and you only afford to go to a
Yeah,
kibanda
if you-
together, very nice. But if you're just
Kibanda-
there,
Kibanda, by the way, it's like a I don't even know how to say it. Kind of like
it's
an
a small outside place that cook
Yeah,
food
restaurant.
and just
Yeah,
sell.
but
at a-
definitely, yeah. If you do this 30 and he takes you out to buy tea, yeah, there's definitely a problem. So.
yeah, if he's trying to avoid spending on you,
Yeah. So no, it's a good point.
yeah.
So do you have another one for yourself?
Yeah. The fifth one, it would be: is honesty, respect, faithfulness, and money mutually exclusive?
Oh my goodness, that's a deep psychological question. Well, do you want to start?
Do you want to start?
So
Mostly, I'd say on the perspective of a guy, because mostly it's that way. Okay, let's just say both sides.
okay.
Do you think money plays a part in how well your significant other respect you?
Well, it shouldn't. Although in case of slay queens and gold diggers, I'm sure it does, you know, because that's the whole reason she is with the guy. And usually they obviously date an older gentleman. And now, I don't want to say that it's always bad, you know. I'm sure if both parties, you know, if the guy is looking for a younger woman, you know, and let's say he's not cheating, he's just, you know, old widower, or, you know, the guy has money and he just wants to find some younger gal, and she's okay with, you know, doing all the things that she does for that money for that guy, and they both kind of like agree and it's safe and they don't like abuse anyone.
Yeah.
Sure, go for it, you know. I've seen quite a lot, especially like in Kenya when I'm flying, you know, they're like older guys that come to, you know, to their girlfriend. Again, as long as there's no cheating involved,
Yeah.
as long as there's no like wife in
Yeah.
UK or whatever the place the guy is from, you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But definitely don't expect a lot from this relationship in my book, because you know clearly you can't build like a family on this money-only relationship.
Yeah.
So clearly there has to be something. I'm not saying that a big age difference is bad, but
Yeah.
just as long as you both connect
Yeah.
and you both you have something besides money
There has to
and
be
sex,
something
you know.
more. Yeah.
It's that then you have a relationship, and it doesn't matter what's the age difference, you know. Just kind of like go for it, and that's my take on it.
Yeah, but probably how I thought about this question would be, I think I told you the story about the Uber driver who told me that
Oh.
if you start from
Yeah.
if you start from scratch, and I'm sure, like ladies, I'm sure you've heard this, that you need to start with someone from scratch, because if you build things together, the guy is going to respect you. So my question to you is, do you think it's more respectable for a girl to come when you have absolutely nothing, you're going to respect her because you build together? Or do you still think it's okay if you're somewhere and you just find this girl and you continue building whatever you're building?
Well, you can't be on the same level, you know.
Yeah.
It's rare that two people are on the same financial level, on the same, you know, career level. There's always a difference. I think it's fine. Again, as long as one person doesn't exploit the other person,
Yeah.
You know, like in case of a guy, as long as he doesn't use her for sex only,
Yeah.
and for women, as long as she doesn't use him for money only,
Yeah.
that's fine. You know, you can't be equal on those levels. You can't have the same amount of money or
Yeah.
the same amount or be on the same career ladder. You know.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. Again, as long as two people agree, that's it. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think I agree with you when it comes to respect, and to be honest, I will echo something that my sister says, that money doesn't change anyone. Money just shows who you are. So if someone is mean to you when they don't have money, even when you build whatever empire, they are going to be mean to you. And if someone respects you, I just think it just brings out who you are, what
Yeah.
was hidden. My sister says money brings out what was hidden by poverty. So I don't think if a woman, this is in my opinion, I don't think you should always be going for someone to start from scratch and thinking that they are going to respect you for that. If they don't respect you when they are at that level, they'll never respect you. And also, don't always build it on money. It has, like he's saying, it has to be more like,
Yeah.
what is this person's value system? Because if his value system is centered around like, what can I get, or me, as you know, like our society right now, it's very
Yeah. Think about someone else. Don't just take.
narcissistic.
Yeah. Also give.
If it's about me and what I'm getting here, and that person has that value system, they will definitely change. So I think for women who think that, oh, if I start from scratch with someone, they are going to respect me better. Start from scratch with someone because you want to start from scratch with them, not because you think they're going to respect
Yeah.
you better because you started from scratch
And
with
also,
them.
I would add, you know, it's not that you will have a lot of, you know, chances in life to meet that special person. And sure enough, if you can meet someone in high school and it's a great person, and you can build it up from there.
Yeah.
But you don't always have a choice, you know.
Yeah.
And don't if you have that special person in your life, don't let them go because they have, like, you know, one trait that doesn't fit
That's a
the
really
book,
good
or, you know.
point, because
Yeah.
recently I've been seeing people who say, oh, I think you can't be mature enough to find love until you're 25 and over. And I'm thinking, I've seen people who fell in love in uni and they got
Sure.
married. I've seen people who get married at 40 and it doesn't work out. So I wouldn't say like age is a factor. And
Yeah.
also I feel like this internet culture where you can just find someone on Tinder
Oh,
quickly,
yeah. Guys, yeah, that's
give
so
us
awful.
this ego of, I can always find someone.
Yeah,
You won't always
especially
find
for
someone.
women, because women get a lot of attention, you know, on dating apps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work like this in real life.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of fakers on those ads,
Yeah.
on those dating apps. So be very careful. And yeah, if you meet that special person, obviously hang on to them, because
Sure.
they don't always come.
Yeah, I always see there's a meme that was saying, oh, you think in a world that has 7 billion plus people, I can care about. Yeah, I really do
Oh,
think
sure,
that
yeah.
the 7 billion people in this world are not meant for me, and not everyone is going to rhyme with me. So if I find someone, I don't want my ego or pride or whatever other things to break
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So, yeah,
So
nice
good
point,
point.
Davis. So, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Yeah, the last question, guys. The last question, it's, we all have heard that women are after money and men after sex. So a question to you, what else are men looking for in a relationship besides sex?
Besides sex. And
Yeah.
also, for you, what else women look in a relationship
Besides money.
Oh, well, kind of like, you know, like I'm going back to my previous answer. For me, very important part would be connection to the person.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, you know, any specific thing, but it can be anything, you know. You just have to, again, once you meet and that first euphoria of the first meeting kind of subsides,
Yeah.
you have to be able to live with that person, to find common interests, you know, just kind of like live with them. And the good test, I didn't come up with it, but someone else did. If you can sit in silence
Oh yeah, you too.
and be comfortable with the person,
Yeah.
that it means that you have a good relationship with them. Try it. Let's say if you go somewhere and you don't know the person, just be quiet. you will feel how like it's not easy to be quiet, because we always want to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
And if you can do it with the person that you're with, it means you're on really good terms. And kind of like, I tried it, and it's like incredibly difficult when you don't know the person.
Yeah.
And it's very awkward, and we always try to fill in the gaps and kind of say something. But that would be my kind of like take on it. I would definitely say though that you can't take money out of the equation. Again, let's not pretend like we live in this utopia that money don't count. They obviously do. You have to live, you have to get stuff, you have to eat, you have to live comfortably, but they don't decide everything.
Right.
And if I had an option to have a woman that's in it for money, that's like like hot and just like gorgeous, or have a woman that's like a normal, that doesn't have like all the supermodel type stuff that guys look for, but she's into me, I would definitely pick the second one. Because sure enough, when guys are young, we want like a woman with like gorgeous body that does a lot of like sexual stuff, but it's not that important in the long term, because that connection, I would say, is very, very paramount. So it's kind of like my take. So I don't know.
Good point, baby.
But I kind of got 2 for 1. So.
Oh, so what women also want other than money? We've just said don't assume money is not important. It is important, but what else? I'd say and probably even throw in some points that I hear my friends saying. First of all, I got a very good point from a friend of mine recently, and she said, you want a life partner,
sure, yeah,
not a baby.
Oh yeah, so you don't want to baby him, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you don't want to bring someone. You know how traditionally women were meant to do things for the man, do this for men.
Kind
You
of like
want to know
type,
that, you want to know that when you can't, he can. When you come home tired, he also can take responsibility. So I'd say a life partner, someone that can take responsibility, and not only money-wise, but also like around the house. You also want someone that genuinely cares about you. Sure. It's okay, like right now, I don't struggle with my physical appearance. I'm okay, but if you're in it for the long term, things will start changing. Is he comfortable with? Does he love me for me? And also,
sure.
I think for me, because I want someone that loves me for me, not an illusion of what they think I should be or what they want to make me into.
The guy that likes those little quirks that you have, it's the same for me as well,
Yeah, like for example, I ride on the shopping cart, and I want someone that's comfortable. Petty, I know, but I want someone that can hold me with a shopping cart.
Yeah. So no, it's a good point. It pretty much applies to me as well,
Yeah.
So okay, do you have anything else?
We've come to the end of the video.
Okay, that was a long one. Yeah.
A lot and intense. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you so much for always coming back to watch. And we are trying to change everything as much as possible from the environment. And
let us know what you want to see or what you want us to cover. And thank you for watching.
Until next time, you guys have a good one. Bye. Subscribe.